precious stone lodged in my breastbone where my heart once was is no match for love's arsenal. Maybe you aren't the enemy. Maybe you're just a soldier on the other side of this relationship fighting to survive, determined to make your presence known. Maybe you're just like me. You stormed into my life and I had no idea that I would become a prisoner of war. The blood of my ancestors that runs through my veins, the blood of warriors and conquerors lets me know that fleeing is not an option. And it wasn't in the beginning. In my struggle to be free of this occupation, I murdered myself. Indeed, I strapped explosive pain and sadness across my chest like blocks of C4 walked into the midst of our relationship and detonated. I had already thrown that fragile stone that was my heart onto the battlefield, and the only thing left to do was fill that gaping hole with enough dishonesty, distrust, and disrespect-filled shrapnel to take out a small city, or at the very least what I saw as a small-minded man. Somehow we both survived the blast, and we joined the ranks of the walking wounded. And that was when I fled. And I could have turned to Allah, but instead I turned to another man. And I became a refugee in the arms of that other man. I turned my back on my past and as a result on my future. But I quickly realized that this was no refugee camp. No, this was an internment camp. And those very same softly spoken words that were used to gas up those desolate, unhappy chambers in my heart now threatened to destroy me from the inside out. With each inhalation, each pull from the smoking gun, I realized that I had not won. I hadn't even escaped. It was my heart that lay amidst the rubble. So I covered myself in acceptance and submission and returned to my land, to myself, and to you. Surely I can't be a terror unto myself, yet I'm terrified at what lies ahead for us. Maybe it's the sadist in me, or maybe a bit of a masochist in me, or maybe it's just the terrorist in my heart, the one responsible for the occupation. Maybe it's love. That's it, folks. Like I said, I'm all about the community stuff, East African. So I talk about Ethiopia and our neighbors in Sudan. There's a lot going on that we just don't know about, and you can't always throw information at people. And poetry is a beautiful thing because it allows you to wrap things up in a way that makes the pill a little easier to swallow.